Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it. He's nice, but he don't show the skills. How I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. How I work the wheel. They mad, up to side, circle tight, yeah. Vacuum seal. No, they want my life. I ain't worried. I got right for real. I got real soldiers kill for me, nigga. Watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately. You is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspire. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the skin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, though. So I brought these chimney sweets. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we run it. Bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do his part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills. How I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. How I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. I heard they want my life. I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now too clean, don't know why they hate it. What you want all life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. UPK top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that eco line into a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in that attic like they Air France. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See I'm throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Flying in, I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the gut, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills. How I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel. How I work the wheel. Oh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Say they want my life. I ain't worried, I got rate for real.
Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I want west to the death, cause I be one west to the death till they bury me.
West to one west.
One west to the death.
If I could train a dragon, I could dance with a lion. Any climate, and I'm shining like a diamond out of Zion. Been a tyrant, never solid, my retirement's desire. But my dwelling place is fire, fitting for my attire. If I could aim any higher, I hit the Allah higher. My asylum is in the bottom, my friend is in the bottom. Wobble, wobble, shaking, taking the city with a trunk. Cause it's one big titty bitch, ready to get fucked from the front to the back. We never stumble, never lag. While they recover from the Sabbath, we on the streets wreaking havoc, raining terror from above. This is Thanos dripping the glove with those monos dripping with blood from the scripture, stitching one W. I'm here to trouble you problems and I'm a troubleshooter. Rich niggas won't fuck with you, making they people uncomfortable. Usher you to the upper room, truly we the untouchable. Fully automatic boss status. 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 I'm here to conquer, word is sponsor, let my sponsor get it on. She got the beauty and the brawn, booty eating the thumb. Wisdom I never pawn, your bishop raping your dog with the footage breaking it down. So I'm ruthless about the law, killing these Christians with a cross. Your religion, you're living false, hostility in your thoughts. So I'm coming through with the salt, Kentucky ain't what my ship or what indigenous were called. The cross taking the scepter off the mantle, like most before the battle. The chariots in the rattle, we riding out while it's shallow. You copycats get the gallows, coming out of the shadow of death. Resurrect the elect, one west, automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status.
I face the east when I pray, but it's one west. All this camouflage on me, I'm a war vet. You be K, but the rule, I ain't far-fetched. You niggas won't world peace like Ryan Artest. Hey, took it and ran with it. The old me had to die for me to transition. All the churches closed down, it's a pandemic. But you be carrying every hood like a transmission. You could thank the general, I had the bar. Niggas running out of time like I had a more. A red cup, black label, I'm a connoisseur. I'ma leave it wet if I draw the sword. Nigga, it's the code of conduct. Put on all black, get some rank, I know he's solid. She ain't gotta get naked, she know she poppin'. We was yelling bad, go way before the virus. Hey, most high Christ, this type of life ain't for the weak, you gotta sacrifice. Give it up. We sin unaware. Niggas go against the grain like they cutting hair. But I'm a priest of prophet, I gotta teach. You might not get to see me 7 days out the week. You got questions, we got breakdowns. You be care about the spread like a breakout. Refuge, this is safe house. Not too many take this road, but this is straight route. Babylon is falling, let it play out. Fully automatic boss status.
Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. Fully automatic boss status. I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I'm with shits. I view my adversary through a microscope as a small thing. They wax fat, we ballin'. Babylon keep falling. By all means, these salt teams is crack of dust. Esau won't respawn, they the soul people we have to crush. They shackled us, we out the cuffs. It's short turn and slow burn till after dusk. My Caucasian plantation, those reparations won't amount to much. That blonde hair with them blue eyes and that pig flesh won't hassle us. Shawty hauling that hee-haw, cause that gluteus on Maximus. My whip drip on 100 thighs. We gunning down, you runaways. They from the cave, not underpaid. I'm Hunger slave, just for fun, play Hunger Games. Put you in the front like you running things. Uriah, any back talk, you kiss the asphalt, and I sing it to the Messiah. You'll be auctioned off with the shipping cost. I'll purchase some good diaper. Bought my Donald Trump and my Richard Nixon. I'm Willie Lynch incarnate. Keep a short leash on you varmint. String you up if you brave-hearted. Only thing red, white, and blue will be your remains washed off of my garment. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang, ayy.
Went from riding on the boat to hanging on oak. God hate these white folks, you can say what you want. This ain't a joke, I ain't laugh at shit. They gon' make it to the kingdom, yeah, with shackle wrists. Yeah. Put they ass in chains with a yoke of iron. Whip hit his back, sound like I opened fire. I ain't gon' lie, I wanna see him suffer. Can't escape, cause under the sun, the place of judgment. Yeah, I got a perpetual hatred. It's scared of replacement theory cause they destined for slavery. Yeah. You gotta hear this, the patience of the saints. Hell yeah. Many prophets desired to see that day. UPK, we gon' take the kingdom. He don't deal with other nations, he gon' plead with heathens. I ain't gon' stop until I see him in the cotton field. Yeah. Ain't no other option, I'ma die real.
I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. I'm with shits like Willie Lynch, I wanna see him hang. Ay.
Shalom, Cab. Kind out of one kind.
Rising K, the Raisin Man.
Don't sweat.
I'm coming back with the bitch like Tobias did. In the background with the blacksmith iron in. I'm the good shepherd, you're a hireling. The Lord is a man of war, surely he requires men. Plenty crowns on his head, the Messiah kid. Weeping and gnashing the teeth, bring your violence. I control the brains of behemoth and Leviathan. Iron sharpens iron, I'm on fire with the iron fist. I keep it 125, I don't front, nigga. I keep my sword and a shovel when I hunt, nigga. I stay wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. Fuck God is all love, nigga, give it up. I'm in the club on Shamar, no departure. Quick to pull the arrows out the quiver like an archer. King Arthur. With the knights of the round equipping brotherhood, a weapon you should never lay it down. Throw the bat, no cap, let's do some. Sharpen that sword, that motherfucker gruesome. Drop nukes on the Dukes, Rasputin. I don't want shorty if shorty ain't too some. Throw the bat, no cap, let's do some. Sharpen that sword, that motherfucker gruesome. Drop nukes on the Dukes, Rasputin. I don't want shorty if shorty ain't too some. I'm at the pinnacle, my niggas identical. You don't want drama, our mod is the original. True Seminoles waiting on the signal. Move for your honor, the commanding general. In the cold, niggas suffer, earn your cover. In the go, anybody shouting Shabbat Shalom is a joke. Keep your distance from religions, I'm a sniper with the scope. One body, one mind, I align, they revolt. 50 lessons as you bastards getting mercy. Jada Pinkett Simp getting tangled with the wordplay. Fuck a retrograde, you bitches that's mercy. We be breaking down scriptures cause it's Thursday. One West, 125th is the birthplace. So black and so brown and so speckled, how the birds say. Now you can hate that we hollow, but since you faithfully follow, I take a virgin, no chase. Throw the bad, no cap, let's do some. Sharpen that sword, that motherfucker gruesome. Drop nukes on the Dukes, Rasputin. I don't want shorty if shorty ain't too some. Throw the bad, no cap, let's do some. Sharpen that sword, that motherfucker gruesome. Drop nukes on the Dukes, Rasputin. I don't want shorty if shorty ain't too some.
Yeah. How are you? How was I? A most high in Christ, sir. Most high in Christ. Let's get it done.
We keep it bumping like acne, working like a factory, running like an athlete. You want it, but you ash it. Raging like Dash, yeah, tomahawk in the patch it. Quick to kick a bitch out of house like Queen Vashti. Replace her with a nasty daughter of Zion. And take sorters up bygones, be bygones. It's triathlon with the mastodon. And Jesus put my crack on. Don't get me started about things I'ma do to this vagabond. Feed him to my cybermon. Heat him with the Gallagher. Knees be ripping out your tongue, breathing your bitch without a lung. Cash you in out of darkness, your carcass is a pile of them. I'll get your Shurigan all of 2020. So we be on the lead village, bitches west of one west. Pass it off, test it off at a bridge. Success often I live with regrets, but now it's all new.
All of that shit was a sister acting 50 Luca.
King like Cooper, getting all black trooper. Started from the bottom, now we here like the roofer. Cleaner than a loofah, fuck Martin Luther. Clinging to a dream with how the white boys future. Make a bleep out of blooper. How big is my girl's trooper? No way to suture. What you hearing right now is the motherfucking future. I pray you understand it. Put the mic in my hand. Karak, ice, and the clan. Upon my footage I stand. I'm in every word, every nerd shit. Wordsmith, merchant, make a purchase. The verse is supreme, clean, octane, not plain. Put them in the stockade, the stockade. We upgrade to upgrade. They generated vipers, only living by desire. We intimidate the liars cause the kingdom is inside us. Pause. Born again without a price.
Judging angels, that's gangsta and righteous as fuck.
You the devil that the Bible speaks of. If you in disagreement, speak up. You ain't tough and we don't do semantics. Niggas see the camp equipment and they panic. Cause they know we blaze on them, even granny. We black in the ghetto, we at a disadvantage. Pestilence and famine, that's a Christ return. Your pastor not teaching you what's right from wrong. He found home in Satan tabernacles. He a slave to his lies, niggas shackled. Slave to traditions in his practice. Gotta learn to let go for too long. We've been moving backwards. Contrary to popular belief. All that singing and that dancing got us weak. I gotta breathe, I'm in disarray. Gentrify the neighborhood, city in decay. Dying at alarming rates, it ain't even safe. Black city council members, we don't see no change. Who to blame? We can't charge the youth for a 60-year-old problem, and that's all y'all do. It's a number on the flyer, you can call the school. Yeah, we ain't afraid to answer questions. Can't raise your hand in the church, that shit sketchy. When it comes to this truth, I'm aggressive. Where to exit? We was led inside a burning house. Following other nations' culture, better turn around. I ain't worried about it, cause I serve the Lord. A false hope made you forget what's really important. But the ones who stand firm, they gon' be rewarded. Everything you ever learned, it was all distorted. Brother, come to class, what's the best advice? Victory stands on the back of the men that sacrifice.
What's good now? I'm about to get up, yo. Pull up,
Right. Yeah, I changed for the better. Put that old nigga in the shredder. But however, I could never take a step back for my pleasure. Change the weather. Ruger 5'7" on my dresser. Clip full with a lot of pressure. I forget that I made a special. I don't care, so I don't remember. Hitting treasures in my lecture. New texture, but the same message. Think rich, no think better. Chevy boy, I don't need a Porsche. Bucket clean and I feed the horse. Pull up on me, lose a bitch, ain't nothing to me. Ben Simmons, they ain't fucking with me. Take sides, you was set hopping. Heat on, you was flip flopping. On the come up, then he start watching. We open doors like fuck knocking. Yeah, she see it and then don't believe it. Spit fire in my heart anemic. Make a choice, get in the van. Taking ground and become a man. You pussy, I'm straightforward. Take orders, give orders, bend corners, set orders. Niggas fold like rich quarter. Lifelong, but my temp shorter. Only for the bullshit though. Counterfeit niggas that be full of it though. I don't really hear what you went to, nigga. We don't really care what you been through, nigga. I offend you, nigga. Sharp like a quick left turn in the venue, nigga. Cut right through it like a chinsu, nigga. If I said it, I mean it. And know I'm the meanest and one of the cleanest. I put it together and break it in pieces. I got plenty of time, I got plenty of ideas. You wouldn't believe it. I roll with the lions, you run with hyenas. I'm David inside of a killer marina. For all of my people, I'm giving you all of the smoke. Stop saying the stuff that you won't really want to live up to. Live by a code, yeah, we stand up too. Say you get money, put bread up too. Saying you dumb, we fed up too. Fed up too, in the league of my own. Just leave me alone. They gon' keep talking about me. I just keep going and going and going. And it's what you showing. And I'ma keep growing and growing and rocking and rolling. I take over low and I hold a position in any condition, completing the mission. Paying attention, I got a connection to sit in the section. Yeah, I changed. 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 You know I changed. You know I. You know I changed. You know I. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, I changed.
All right, shalom, shalom. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Kathon, Yahweh Shalom, Thun Shalom Shah. It's the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street Hall, New York, under Commander General Yahweh, teach the truth according to what's inside the Bible, proves that all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews that the Bible speak of. The Isupk is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. We're not Isupk under Commander General Yahweh, we are not the truth. It's Isupk, Charlotte, North Carolina. Priest and officer carry out the war. And this is the Friday Lashawan Qadash class. All right, so tonight we're going over the language. All right, Lashawan Qadash means holy tongue. All right, so we're gonna go over that tonight. All right, the bottom. Big up to anybody tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Isupk the 704 on YouTube. All right, follow us on all social media platforms. So come check us out. We located right here in the Charlotte area, the 704 area, 1539 Northridge Avenue. Come through, swing through, learn the truth about the Bible, and learn the Lashawan Qadash, which is AKA the Holy Tongue. All right, so this is Lashawan Qadash class. All right. This is going the Lashawan Qadash class. Which translates into holy tongue. All right. Lashawan Qadash. So Qadash means holy. All right. In the Hebrew, and Lashawan will be the tongue. The holy tongue is the language that we read, wrote, and spoke before we learned English and Espanol and every other language. You know what I mean? That we know now. All right, so we're gonna go over the Lashawan Qadash now. So whenever a person, whenever a person out there wants to learn a new language, first thing you must do first is your ABCs. When we learn English, right, preschool, kindergarten, first thing we did, we wrote our ABCs, wrote them over and over and over again until we learn how to put letters together and formulate words. All right, so that's important. All right, to learn the Hebrew tongue, Lashawan, Qadash, to learn your ABCs, basically, to learn the alphabet. So that's what we're gonna go into tonight, and we're gonna go into some basic. Once again, I'm Police Officer Kiara Ward. I'm filling in for Officer Palaka. Lord willing, he'll be returning next week. All right, so I don't know if anybody that's been tuning in. I don't know where y'all at exactly, but we're gonna get back to the basics, and we're gonna go over this alphabet. All right, each letter, each character, we're gonna get into it. All right, and also too, this is not the only school in the Charlotte area. Also, other schools and other classes teaching the same exact thing. The Lashawan Qadash. All right, so especially Isupk Durham. Or my brother also Lashawan, he went into the whole pictorial part about each character. So make sure you check that class out. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to all the channels, Tennessee, Chicago, California, New York. All right, just make sure you subscribe. So let's get into it. All right. It's important that we learn our ABC. So let's get right into it. All right. So the first character, right, out of the Lashawan Qadash, right, the Hebrew tongue, the holy tongue. Our language that we spoke before we spoke these languages that we speak today, the first character in the ancient, this is the ancient, looks like this. And it's a ah, all right? It's simply pronounced ah. So this is the ancient way of ah, right? Ancient. That's the ah character, all right? And that's what you would, that's how it looks in the ancient, right? In the Assyrian, which you will find in the Tanakh or the Blue Letter Bible, which we read out of often. We're going to be reading tomorrow during the Sabbath service. Make sure you tune in tomorrow during the Sabbath service and come through. Understand? Come on through and acknowledge the Lord's holy day, the Sabbath, all right? So we're going to be reading the Hebrew tongue tomorrow. Right, and this is a character that we're going to see inside the Tanakh or the Blue Letter Bible. And this is the Assyrian version of the Ah character, and it will look like this. All right. So this is how it looks in the ancient, the Ah. And this is how it looks in the Assyrian. So this is the first character out of the alphabet. All right, just like how we learn in our lives, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the English alphabet, or in Spanish we learn that alphabet. Right, this is the Lashawan Qadash. All right, this is the first character. This is the Ah. This is how it looks in the ancient. All right, this is how it looks in the Syrian. And this is how it's pronounced. Ah. All right. So if you want to learn a language, just write the characters over and over and over. Just write them over and over and over. And sooner or later, over time, it'll just flow like water. All right. All right. So the next character, and after we go through all the characters, we're gonna write them all out. All right. So this is the Ah. The next character is the Ba, all right? Ba looks like that in the ancient. That's how the Ba looks. All right, reverse this. It's pronounced Ba. We got Ah, now this is Ba, all right? That's how it looks in the ancient. In the Assyrian, it looks like this. All right. That's the Ba. All right. Next character. The next character is the God. All right? That's how the God looks in ancient. Simply pronounced God. And the Assyrian, it looks like this. That would be the God. All right, again, you want to learn a language, just practice writing them, the characters over and over and over again. Just like how we did our ABCs when we was young. All right? You want to learn a language, just crawl before you walk, like anything that you do. All right? All right, so this is the God. It's the third letter of the alphabet in the ancient Hebrew. All right, so this is ancient, and this is the Assyrian. All right, it's pronounced God. All right, so next letter or character, I should say, is the dot. Right? It looks just like this, like a triangle. Right? It's a lot. Just like this. It's pronounced dot. In the ancient, if you lock in the Syrian, it looks like that. More. So the dot, right? So like how if you could see anybody out there got a dot on my neck, right? It's comprised, it looks like this. Anybody can't see it. She got to see. This looks like this. All right? A lot of people refer to this as a star, but really, a star doesn't look like this. Star has no points at all. Star is a ball of gas in the sky. All right? This is not a star. This is a word or a name. All right? This is Dawadah, King David in the Hebrew. All right? So that's the character Dah. So anytime you see the shield of David, just know that that's his name. All right? There's two Dahs and a Wah. So that character right there, the Dah. All right? So we got Ba, Ga, Dah. It's the fourth character in the language. All right? Next character would be the Ha. And it looks like this in the ancient. And it's pronounced Ha. Alright? So that's how that would look in the ancient. And in the Assyrian, it looks like this. Ha. Be the fifth character out of the alphabet. All right? The Ha. Right, next. The next character is the Ya. And it looks like this in the ancient. Of course, it's pronounced Ya. All right? So that's how it looks in the ancient. And the Assyrian looks like that. The character looks like that. Right? Very important to know all these characters, right? And again, write them over and over and over again to get familiar with the characters itself. Right? So this is the Ya, and the ancient and the Assyrian. All right, next. You have the Ka, is the next character. In the ancient, it looks like this. It looks literally like a ladder, right? And it's pronounced Ka. Ka, right? Kind of like you're trying to clear your throat almost, all right? Pronounce it Ka. All right? And that's in the ancient and the Assyrian. It looks like this, similar to the Ka. I mean, not to the Ka, to the Ha. except all the lines are connected, right? So the Cha looks like that. Looks like this in the ancient, and looks like that in the Assyrian. All right? So learn these characters. Next. The next character is the Ta, and the Ta looks literally like this. It's pronounced Ta. All right? And the Assyrian looks sort of like this. You know what I'm saying? See if I can make that a little better. It looks similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Basically like that. Top. That's how the tie looks. So that's how the tie will look inside of the Tanakh, right? For the blue letter Bible. We just open up and read it, all right? So that's how it looks in the Assyrian, and this is how it looks in the ancient, all right? The top. Oh, Salah. I jumped the gun. Missed the character. But that's the top. I said the Yah, I meant to say the Zah. Right? Zah looks like this. It's pronounced Zah. In the ancient, that's how it looked. In the Assyrian, this is how it looks. Zah. That's a lot. All right. And it's another level of what I'm thinking about, a character rather, and that would be the Y. This jumping character. The Y looks like that, and that's how you pronounce it, the Y. And the Assyrian looks like that. Okay. So that's the Y in the ancient, that's the Y in the Assyrian. Right. That's the sixth character. And I had jumped to the Yah, right? So lock it, right? But after the Yah will be the Ka, and it looks like this. Ka. In the ancient, and the Assyrian, it's like that. Ka. So learn these characters. Now that'll get you to read fluently. All right. So we know English. Time that we learned our real language that we spoke, that we ought to be speaking, right? So next, that was the Ka. Next we got the La. Right? Ancient, it's like a little right? It's the La. That's in the ancient, and the Assyrian looks like that. And that's a La. Understand? La. Right? So next. Next character will be the Ma. All right? It looks just like this. Pronounced Ma. In the ancient, that's how I look. In the Assyrian, it looks like this. So now, right? It's a lockout. We're gonna come back to it, all right? But we're gonna get into that. This is how the Ma looks in the ancient and the Assyrian. And also too, I might as well, while it's fresh on my mind, and this is how the character Ma would look at the beginning or in the middle of a word, all right? But if it's at the end of a word, it'll look like this, all right? just like that. So we're gonna sort it all out. As soon as we get through these characters, we're gonna write out the alphabet, and we're gonna see which characters change and put them at the end of a word. All right. So the other character I went over, jumped the gun, right, was the cop. But we're gonna get that. All right. So this is the ma. Right? It's ancient. How it looks in the ancient. This is how it looks in the Assyrian. And this will be at the beginning or the middle of the word. And this will be at the end of the word. All right. The ma. All right, so next. The next character is the na. The na looks like that in the ancient. It's pronounced. Just in case anybody can't get past my accent. Na. All right. So na. That's how it looks in the ancient. This is how it looks in the Assyrian. Like that. And I'm gonna get the ending letters once we get through the whole alphabet. I'll write out the characters that come at the end of a word. All right? Not to confuse anybody. All right, so this is the na. This is the na in the ancient. This is the na in the Assyrian. All right? The na. So next. Yeah, sa. Sa character looks like that. It's pronounced sa. And the Assyrian looks like this. Right? The sa. So again, learning these characters is important, just like your ABC. You know what I'm saying? Just write them over and over and over again. And when you see it, you can immediately identify. Same with any language. You understand? Any language that you want to learn, the first thing you want to do is learn the characters of the language. All right? So this is the sa. All right, so next. The next character will be the I. In the ancient, it looks like this. I, and it's pronounced I. All right, so that's in the Syrian. It's like that's in the ancient. In the Assyrian, it would look like this. And again, the Assyrian language is what we will see in the Tanakh or in the Blue Letter Bible. That would be, modern Hebrew, what they say, right? That would be Yiddish, considered Yiddish. You understand? But this is the ancient. This is how it's written in the Paleo, right? With the pictographic language, right? And the Assyrian is how it looks. So this is the I in the ancient. This is the I in the Assyrian. Right? Next. The next character would be the pa. The pa would look like that and pronounced pa. All right? So this is how it looks in the ancient. In the Assyrian, it looks something like this. Try to make it less sloppy. Yeah, all right? It looks something like that. The pa. All right? The pa. So we almost did. We almost at the end of the alphabet. All right? Just ride it out. Bear with me, all right? It's Mr. Pop, all right? Next. You learn this language. This is the Tazak, all right? Looks like that. It's pronounced like this, Tazak. All right, that's how it looks in the ancient. In the Assyrian, looks like this. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe a little neater. That's Tazak. All right. Tazak. Another character out of the Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue. Of course, we are holy people. And only right that we speak the holy tongue, Lashawan Qadash. So now, next character is the Qua. Literally pronounced Qua. All right? That's how the Qua looks in the ancient, and the Assyrian, it looks like this. This is how it be looking in the Tanakh of the Blue Letter Bible. Look just like that, the Qua. Right. So get to know these characters. You be writing books in the Hebrew, the whole Lashawan Qadash in no time. You know what I'm saying? It's the Qua. All right, next. Next character will be a rock. That's how it looks in the ancient. That's how it's pronounced, a rock. That's how it looks in the Assyrian, rock. Right, another character. Almost there. There's two left in the alphabet. All right, that's the rock. All right. So next. We have the shot, which looks like that. Shot, pronounced shot. So that's how it looks in the ancient. This is how it looks in the Assyrian. Shot. All right, you might hear a lot of brothers and sisters that would greet each other shalom, right? That shah, this is the shah in shalom. Shah. That's what the shah looks like. All right. Next. Last but not least, this is the thought. In the ancient, it looks just like this. All right, thought, pronounced like this. Thought. All right. That's how it looks in the ancient, and the Assyrian looks like this. Thought. This will be the last character out of the Lashawan Qadash alphabet. The thought. All right. All right, so let's review. So we went through all the characters. Let's review. Let's write it on now. And then, once again, can't stress it enough, that best way, the easiest way to learn any language is to start with your ABC, all right? Or in this case, your Abba God. Right? So now, let's write it out. A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, right? Ka, Ta, Ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, za, kwa. Thought I had enough space to lock it. It's all good though. You just improvise, that's all. I'll write it down here. Kwa, ra, sha, ta. All right? So that's the alphabet in the ancient. All right, so write them out like your ABCs over and over and over till you can't get enough. All right? We do a lot of things in our spare time, right? We can take 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day just to write out the language and learn. Write out these characters and learn. Simple. Right? Right? Watch all this social media, YouTube. Take a couple minutes and write out your ABC just like you would do your 4-year-old. The easiest way to learn the language. All right, so this is the Lashawan, Qadash, and the ancient. This is the alphabet in the ancient. So let's review. All right. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za. It's a lot of vowels in the place. La. Start off with la. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, za, kwa, ra, sha, ta. All right? So write them out over and over and over again, and by the time you know, it'll be like more. Time you know it, you know a whole new language. All right, so this is the ancient. So let's write it out in the Assyrian. All right. So in the Assyrian, let's go way on to the other see. The Assyrian looks like this. All right. A, ba, ga, da, ha, ma, za, ka, ta, which looks something like that. Ta, ya, la, la looks like this, right? La, ma, na, I, me, I'm quoting on that. Sa, Aba, Gada, Abaza, Kata, Yala, Mana, Sa, right? Next, the I, which looks like this. I, Pa, which is something like that. Pa, Za, Kwa. Got to write it, come down here again. Kwa, Ra, it looks like this. Sha, and Tha. Alright, so that's the characters in the Assyrian. So what I was saying a little earlier, oh, Salah. I'm missing the letters. Hold on. Abagada, Hawa, Za, Ka. Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. I'm missing one letter. La. Review. Missing the Ka, which looks like this. The Ka. Then Ta. It's a la. La. Ma. Na. Sa. Which looks like that. Pa. Right. To za. Which looks like that. Qua. Which looks like that. All right, and that's the alphabet. All right, so this, what I was about to get into, Salakia, missed out the ka, which is important, right? So let's see. So this is the alphabet, the characters in the Assyrian, right? So it's important what I'm about to say when it comes to reading it, right? Because let's say, all right, so the ka, right? At the end of a word, the ka will look like this. At the end of the word. All right, so I'm gonna get an example in a second. And this is not the only character, right? Also the ma, also at the end of a word, looks like this, as I was stating a little earlier. That's how that would look. The na also would look different at the end of a word. That's how it would look. The tail, like in the ka, the tail would come down. Let me knock this down a little bit. All right, that was a thought character. But the ka will come down, right? At the end of a word, right? Also the pa at the end of a word will come down, and the tazah at the end of the word will look like that. All right, so now let's get an example of a character at the end of a word, right? So now, I said a word a little earlier, shalom, which you, more 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear a brother or sister greet each other in that manner. We're gonna say shalom. So shalom has a character at the end of it, the ma, right? So the sha is shalom. Let's spell it out real fast. So shalom. All right, so that's how you would spell it in English, all right? How we would spell it in the Assyrian, just to make an example of a character at the end of the word. This is the sha, right? Right here. Also the la, which is right here, right? And the ma. Straighten that up a little bit. La and the ma. All right, so we put it all together, and what do we have? We have shalom. So now, sha, right? Right from right to left. After la, so the ma, since it's at the end of the word, will look like that. Like this guy. So the shalom. All right? All right? Another example. So if the ma wasn't, let me write that again for anybody that didn't get it, or write it down. All right, so that's how it would look. The ma would look at the end of a word. That's the sha, this is the la, and this is the ma. So that's how it would look if it was at the end of the word, right? If it was at the beginning of a word, it will look like, let me think of a word real quick. Manasah, one of the tribes, right? Manasseh, which would be our so-called Cuban brothers and sisters, right? Manasah, right? We spell it out, so you got to see. Manasah, spell it like this, ma, na, sa, right? So in the Syrian, since it's not at the end of the word, the ma would look like this. Ma, na, sa. All right? So that would be the ma at the beginning or the end of a word. I mean, at the beginning or in the middle of a word. And this is the ma at the end of the word. You understand? So that's an example. All right? With the ka, same thing. So the ka at the beginning of the word looks like this. Like my name is K out of war, right? So my name starts with a ka. So if I spell my name at beginning, we say ka, ya, da, wu, right? That's ka, ya, da, wu. Okay, ya, da, wu. If it was at the end of the word, say the word like Barak, right, which means blessed. Barak, which has a ka at the end, would look like this. Ba, ra, and ka. Let's clean that up. Ka. So that's how it would look. We'll have to see the characters would be lined up at this level right here, but the end word, ka, the tail would come down, right? Just like how we see up here. So, rock, all right? So the ka at the end of a word will look like that. But the ka at the beginning of or in the middle of a word will look like that. Everybody understand? Okay. Also, it's other characters like the na, the pa, and the tazah. So let's get examples of that. So we can get this out the way. I'll put it over this, right? So we had qua, ra, sha, da, right? So qua, like that, qua, ra, sha, da, right? So let's get an example of the na. Right? So see, so of the dome, the beginning of the word, we see na, na, na. Hold on. Hold that door. 1 second. Let's see. Word. So there goes a word right here. Right? This word right here is brass, right? In the Hebrew, it's nakashah. Yeah, that'll work. Brass, nakashah. Right? Nakashah. Right? So, nakashah. Right? So the N is at the beginning of the word. So if we spell it out in the Assyrian, it'll look like this. So this is the na at the beginning of a word. Na, right? Ka, sha. Right? So this is the na, right? This character right here, right? At the beginning or in the middle of a word, right? But if it was at the end of a word, that would have another word that has a na at the end, just seeing it. The one, right? Which is white. So naka. So this word right here, nakashah, is brass, right? This is one of a color, right? Right? We're gonna get to it in a second. Bear with me 1 second. We're gonna get these characters out the way. All right. So this is the na at the beginning or the middle of the word, right? This other word, laban. Laban, see, it's a na at the end of the word. It's a character, la, right? Ba, the ba and na is connected. Laban, right? As a na at the end, it means white. It's a color. So Laban in the Assyrian, la, ban, since it's at the end of the word, that would be the na. That's how the na would look. You understand? So this is how the na would look at the beginning or the middle of a word. This is how the na would look at the end of a word. You understand? So this is how we identify different characters when we read it, when we write the Lashawan Qadash. So that's the na. All right? So that's the difference. Right? So let's get the pa and the tazah. Right? So let's see the pa. If I got a word over the top of the dome, para, which means beautiful. Right? In the Hebrew, it's para. spell it out in your cereal, it will look like this for Ra, right? So this is the pa at the beginning of a word, all right? So now, this will be the pa at the end of the word. So I'm going to use the word kasa, which literally is a color, another color, which is silver. Right? So the pa at the end of this word, we have the ka, just like that, ka, sa. So the pa at the end of the word look like that. If we read it out the Tanakh or the Blue Letter Bible. Right? So that's the pa at the end of the word, right? This is the pa at the beginning or the middle of a word. Get the point? So it's 5 characters that change when they at the end of a word. All right? So the last letter that changes is the tazah, or the last character, I should say, salah, will be the tazah. All right? So let's see if I can think of something off the top. Tazah. I got one of them in my notes. Tazahab, right? Tazahab, which is another color, means yellow. Tazahab. So the tazah, because it's at the beginning of the word, would look like this. Tazahab. Right? So that's how that would look. Tazahab, right? So now if the tazah was at the end of the word, like aratazah, which means the earth or the ground, rock, aratazah, which means the ground. Right? So the tazah is at the end of the word. So you just spell it out. Ra, and tazah. That's the last character that changes when it's at the end of the word. So you see, let me straighten that up just a little more neat. All right? At the beginning of the word, the tazah looks like this, right? Everybody see? Tazahab, which is yellow, right? But at the end of the word, aratazah, the tazah looks like this. All right? All right. So that's the alphabet. All right, so Salakia, it sounds complicated, but it's not. Just write this over and over again. And again, you got 5 letters of Salak with 5 characters, right, that change at the end of a word. And that's the ka, the ma, the na, the pa, and the tazah. All right, so those are different examples of how they change at the end of the word. All right? So now, those were basically the ABCs of the Lashawan Qadash. So get familiar with those and learn the language. All right, so next, we could go through these real quick. I'm going to translate a few scriptures. All right, so next we're going to do our 1, 2, 3. All right? Numbers. Okay? So now, first number is 1. So, hold on. So now, a car will be 1. So how we spell it, this is a car, right? let me clean that up a little bit. God, and that is 1. So you have the I, the Ka, and the Da. Alright, so the I is by itself, and the Ka and the Da connects. Alright, we're gonna spell it out in the ancient. I'm gonna show what I mean right now. In fact, so with the connectors, right? This is how we read and write and speak. So this is the I, this is the Ka, and this is the Da, right? Just like how we see over here, the I, the Ka, and the Da. You have the I, the Ka, and the Da. So the I is by itself, right? So that's the I right here. You have the Ka and the Da, which is connected. Ka and the Da, that's connected. So it's a Ka, all right? And that translates to the number 1, a Ka, all right? And that's how you write it out in the ancient. In the Assyrian, this is how we write it out. If we remember our characters, right? We write it out. The I, the Ka, and the Da. A Ka, which is 1. All right? A Ka. And just like how we did the alphabet, we're going to go through these one by one, and then we're going to shoot through them once we get through. All right? So that's number 1. Okay? Next. So again, it's important to learn the basics. All right? So next number will be 2, which is pronounced Shunya, which is 2. How we spell it out? We have the Sha, which is this right here, right? And Na is connected, which looks like that. If we could remember our character. And Ya, Shunya. So now it's Shunya. So the Sha and Na is connected, and the Ya is by itself. And this is literally how we write it out. All right. So again, I'm Kayada War, right? Officer Kayada War. So if I was to say Officer Kayada War, I would write out Officer is Kwatazayan. So Kwa Taza Yan, right? Kwa Taza Yan. Ka Ya the War. Ka Ya the War. So if I was to write it out, it would literally look just like this with the connectors. Right? That's how we write in the ancient. All right? Ka Ya the War. Right? Just like this word, Shun Ya. Understand? Which is 2. Erase this, because I ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Just making an example. All right? Shun Ya. All right? And the Syrian, which is 2, and the Syrian looks like this. Shun Ya is 2. All right? So now, next character is 3, which is Shalash. 3, which is pronounced Shalash. All right, so how we write it out, we have the Sha, we have the La, and the Sha connect. All right, now remember, right? The Sha by itself, and the La and the Sha connected. So now let's write it out. We have the Sha, the La, and the Sha. Shalash. All right, that's how it looks in the ancient. Shalash. Shalash, which is 3. All right? All right, simple. Simple. Just gotta get used to doing it. That's all. All of us gotta get used to getting comfortable with our Lashawan, Qadash, our holy tongue. All right, so when the Assyrian, it will look like this. Shalash. Shalash, which is 3. All right. Next. The next number will be 4. In the Hebrew, it's Arabah. Arabah. This is 4. All right, Arabah. So in the ancient, this is how we spell it. If we remember, right? Ba. All right, so now you got the right here, which is by itself, the Ra, which is by itself, the Ba and the I are connected. Ba. And that's a rule of thumb too, while we're reading the Lashawan Qadash. More than likely, a lot of times the last 2 number characters connect. All right, it's a rule of thumb. All right, not all the time, but once we get used to reading and writing it, you know how it connects. All right. All right, so Arabah, that's that in the ancient, in the Assyrian. And the I, we remember that character, right? The Ra, the Ba, and the I. Okay? Arabah. It's the I. It's like Ra. Arabah, which is the number 4. All right. Next. Number 5, I believe, is Qadash. Look at my notes. It was Qadash. It's Qadash. Qadash. Qadash, which is the number 5. All right. Qadash, spelled out in the ancient, looks like this. Qadash. All right. The connectors, so how we spell it out over here. The Ka is by itself, and the Ma and the Sha are connected. Qadash. And that's how we write it out. All right, Qadash, which means 5. All right, in the Assyrian. All right, and again, this Qadash is what we will see in the Tanakh, which we're going to be reading tomorrow on the Sabbath service. So if you can't physically make it, make sure you tune in and acknowledge the Lord's holy day. All right, Qadash. Qadash. So remember, that's how the Ma will look in the middle of the word. All right? Qadash. Qadash. All right? Next. The next number is Shashah. Shah, which is 6. And also, too, by the way, this isn't just made up, you know what I'm saying? You can find it all over the place. Now, of course, in the Israel School of UPK, we study non-stop all throughout our free time. Right? So if you look up the Blue Letter Bible or Bible with Concordance, all these characters, right, are in the Concordance, right? In the Tanakh, right? In the Paleo Hebrew, which is pictographic. Right? So we can trace it all the way back. Right? So now we're bringing it all the way back up front for our people to see for ourselves. All right, so 6 is Shashah. So how we see it, how we write it in the ancient, looks like this. Shashah. And it's like how we wrote it over here. Shah by itself. Shah by itself. Shashah, which is 6. You'll see in here General Kobalama, General Q, he'll say Shashah, Shashah Magun, which is shield, right? Shashah Magun Alawat Kobalama, which is 6 shield General Kobalama, right? One of the generals in the Isupk. Understand? Israel School Universal Practical Knowledge. Shashah. So again, you'll hear or see General Kobalama identify himself as Shashah Magun Alawat Kobalama, 6 shield General Kobalama, number 6, Shashah. So that's how we write it in the ancient, in the Assyrian, if we remember, right? This is the Shah of the Assyrian. So it will look just like this. Shashah. Next number is Shabbat, which is 7. All right, Shabbat, which is the number 7. So how we write it in the ancient looks like this. Shah, Shabbat, and the I. All right, so you see over here, the Shah by itself and the Ba and the I is connected. Shabbat, which is the number 7. So that's Shabbat in the ancient. So let's see how we spell it in the Assyrian. So now if we remember the Shah, right? So again, this is why it's important to learn our alphabet, right? So we know how to spell it in the ancient and the Assyrian. So that's the Shah, this is the Ba, and this would be the I, and that's Shabbat. Next is Shema Wana, which is 8. Which is the number 8. All right? Shema Wana. So we spell it in the ancient. It's the Shah, Shema Wana, Shema Wana. All right, Shema Wana. All right, so Shah by itself, Ma by itself, Wa by itself, and Na and Ha is connected. So Shah, Ma, Na, Wa. Salaki, Salaki. Shema Wana. I meant to say Salaki. Shema Wana. All right, so that's how we spell that in the ancient, in the Assyrian. All right, you have the Shah, you have the Ma, this is the Wa, the Na, and the Ha. Shema Wana. And that's the number 8. Okay. Next. Next number is the Shah. Which is 9. And just like the alphabet, right? How Gada, how Zaz, our ABCs, so to speak. It's important to know that. It's important to know our numbers. You understand? All right, the Shah, which is 9. All right. In the ancient, it's Tha, Shah. All right. The Tha is Ba itself, and the Shah and the I is connected. All right. So a little earlier, those kind of rule of thumb that the last 2 characters usually connect with each other in most instances. Right? So as we see, most of the words that we put together, the 2 last characters connect. All right? So the Shah. So that's the Shah in the ancient, and the Assyrian looks like this. If we remember our character, the Shah. Okay. Next. The next number will be Isupk. Isupk, which is 10. Right? Isupk. in the ancient, it would look like this. Isupk. I is by itself, right? Isupk. So all these characters are by themselves. Isupk. Right? And again, all these words and numbers can be looked up. If anybody has a word that they want looked up, just type them in the chat and we can look the word up, no problem, no sweat, no fuss, no more. It's simple. You just look it up, all right? So all these words, numbers, characters, all this can be looked up. You understand? So this is how we say Isupk, all right? Which is the number 10. Isupk. So that's Isupk in the ancient, in the Syrian, which again, of course, is found in the Tanakh, in the Blue Letter Bible. It would look like this. Isupk. That would be the number 10. So now we have the number 10, right? If I wanted to say 11, right, I would just say basically 1 and 10, right, which would be 11. In Hebrew, it would be Qadash Isupk, right, which is 11. 1 plus Isupk, which is 10. So it's Qadash Isupk. So let's write it out. So Qad, we remember, is 1. Qad and Isupk is 10. And that would be 11. All right? Qad Isupk, that's 11. All right? And the Lashawan Qadash. So I will write it out. I'll write it down here. Of course, we write from right to left. Qad Isupk. And the I is by itself. The Qad and the Da is connected. Then Isupk. Isupk, which is the number 11. Right, so that's how you write it out in the ancient. In the Assyrian, you write it out like this. Qad, right? It's the I, the Qad, and the Da. Isupk. It's the I, the Sha, and the Ra. Qad Isupk. All right? So that's 11, right? So without going through 12, 13, 14, 15, just understand that it will be, it's like 11 is a Qad Isupk, right? 16 would be Shasha Isupk, right? 12 would be Shanya Isupk, right? We'll write a couple out. Like, you know, from 11 to 19, you know, I mean, like 12, right? We just had 11, which is like a Qad Isupk. 12 is Shanya Isupk. Shanya Isupk, which is 12. Right? Shanya Isupk, which is 2, and 10, which is 12. All right? Shanya Isupk. So it's like how we went over a little earlier. All right? So Shanya, Shah, Na, Ya, I, Shara. Shan, Ya, I, Shara. 12. Right? Syrian. Shan, Ya, I, Shara. All right. So next. So the next number, like I say, like 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So 16 would be Shasha Aisha, right? Shasha was 6, right? So 20 would be Aisha Run, I Sha Ra, yeah, right? Which would be 2 10s, right? Everybody understand? Like 10 is Aisha Ra, and Yum, right? You make it plural, like 2 10s, right? Which is 20. Aisha Ra, understand? So let's spell it out in the English. Aisha Ra, I shall rub. Yeah. I shall rub you. That's that in the ancient. In the Assyrian, right? I shall rub. Yeah. All right, so here goes one of those characters. Make it more neat. One of those characters that changes at the end of the word. If everybody out there remember, this is the ma, right? So the ma at the beginning or the middle of the word looks like this, right? But at the end of the word, it looks more like a triangle at the beginning of the or middle of the word. At the end of the word looks more like a box. All right? So it's I shall run you, right? Which is 20. All right? So I shall rub is 10, and I shall run young, which means 2 10, right? Or multiple 10s. I shall run, Salaki, I shall run young. All right? So if I want to say 21, how would I say that? I would say Akad Asharayam. Understand? It would be 21. 1 and 2 10s. Understand? So Asharayam is 20, right? So we get that, right? Asharayam. So Aishara is 10. Asharayam makes it plural, which means 2 10s. All right? So that's 20. 2 10s equals 20. All right, for the math wizards out there. All right. So Asharayam is 20. So if I want to write 21, this is how I would write or say it. I would say Akad Asharayam. Which is 21. Understand? Akkad Asher Yom is 21. This is how we write it out. And same thing with the rest of the numbers. So this is why it's important, again, to learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3. So you understand? So once you get the basics down, now you can go to your 20s, 30s, 40s, you know what I'm saying? So now you know how to write and say 21, 22, 23, or 34, 35. We're gonna get into that next real quick. But first, Akkad Asher Yom, 21. So that's how we write it out. All right, so Akkad, which is 1, Aishara, Akkad, Aishara, right? Aishara, which is 10. Then we make it 2 10s with Yom. Akkad Asher Yom, which is 21. All right? So let's write it in your series. The A, the Ka, the Da, I, Sha, Ra, Yom. Akkad Asher Yom, which is 21. All right. So now I want to say 22. I would say Shanya Asher Yom. All right. So Shanya is, if we remember, is 2. All right. So we got 21, which is Akkad Asher Yom. 22 is Shanya Asher Yom, which is 22. And we write it out. If we remember our characters, Shan, Ya. Probably should have left that slide. Asher Yom. Shan, Ya, Asher Yom. 22. Shanya Asher. All right. So same thing with the teams. Is with the 20. So if we remember, 10 is Asher Yah. If I want to say 11, I would say Akkad Salaki. 10 is Aishara. That's what 10 is. If I want to say 11, I would say Akkad Asherah. Right? Which would be 1 and 10. Right? So now, and if I want to say 12, I would say Shanya Aishara, which would be 2 and 10. Right? So 20 is multiple 10s, Asher Yom. If I want to say 22, I would say Shanya Asher Yom. So same thing with the 20, same thing with the 10. Right? Like 16 is Shasha Asherah, which is 6 and 10. The Shasha is 6, Aishara is 10. So 6 and 10 is 16. Right? If I want to say 26, I would say Shasha Asher Yom. Everybody get it? Same thing with the 10. All right? So now, if I want to say 30, all right? I want to say 30, it's Shalash Yom. All right? Which is 30. If everybody remember, 3 is Shalash. To make it 30, Shalash Yom. All right? Same thing with 20. Right? It's a multiple 10s with 20, so it's Asher Yom. All right? 30 is the 3. It makes it, to make it plural, you say 30, Shalashim. You understand? So let's spell it out. 30. Shalash. Yeah. Shalash. Yeah. All right. And that's 30. That's how you spell it in the ancient. In the Assyrian, it's Shalash. Yeah. Shalash. And that's 30. All right. Now, I want to say 31. Hey, Shalom. Hey, let me get you back at like 15. Cool. So it's a lot. All right, so if I want to say 31, I would say Akkad Shalashim. All right? So Akkad Shalashim is 1 and 30. All right? So Akkad Shalashim, which is 31. So that's 1 and 30. Akkad Shalashim. Understand? Let's spell it out. Ka, da, ka, shalash, sha, la, sha, ya, nama, shalash, ya. Akkad shalash, it's 31. So same concept with the teens and the 20s. Understand? If I want to say 11, I would say Akkad Asherah, which is 1 and 10. If I want to say 21, I would say Akkad Asherayim, right? If I want to say 30, I would say Shalashim. If I want to say 31, I would say Akkad, which is 1, and Shalashim, which is 30. 31, Akkad Shalashim. 31. So now this is how we spell it in the ancient. This is how we spell it in the Assyrian. All right? It's a lot. Akkad Shalashim. Akkad Shalash. That's 31. All right. So now those so if I want to say 32, but how would I say it? I would say Shanya Shalash. It'll be 2 and 30. 32. All right, simple. All right. All right. So now, same thing, same concept, right? I want to say 40. How would I say that? How would I say 40? I would say I'm a little. I think it's Arabayu. It might be Arabu. Let me get the definitive. It should be Arabayu, right? 4, multiple 4 Arabayu. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's Arabot. Arabot. No, let me see. Oh, yeah. Reading it. Got sloppy handwriting. It's a lot. This would be 40. Alright? Alright, so 4 for multiple 4. Right? 4. Arabot. Now we spell it in the ancient. That's 40. Right? That's how you spell it in the ancient Assyrian. If you remember the character, that's the Ra, the Ba, the I, and the Yum. It's a lot. Clean that up. Of course, that's how the Ma look at the end of the word. Arabai, that's 40. So multiple 4s. So like we went over, I want to say 10, I would say Aishara. If I want to say 20, multiple 10 is Ashara Yum. Alright? We went over 30, which is Shalash Yum. Multiple 3, Shalash. This is 40. 4 is Arabah. Alright? To make it 40, plural, Arabah Yum. Understand? So same concept with the teens and the 20s and the 30s. If I want to say 41, what would I say? I would say Akkad Arabayam, 41, 1 and 40. All right? Akkad Arabayam. I want to say 46, I would say Shasha Arabayam. All right? All right, so these are the basic numbers. All right, so let's keep going. So let's write out one of the numbers in between 40 and 50, 42. So 2 is Shanya, if we remember, right? So 2 is Shanya. I want to say 42 would be 2 and 40, which would be Arabayam. Which would be 42. Alright, Shanya 2, Arabayam is 40, which is 42. So if I want to say 42, I will say Shanya Arabayam. And then Lashawan Qadash, the Hebrew, the holy tongue. Alright, 42, I will spell it out in the ancient, right? Shanya, it's the Shah, we remember. Shanya, the Na, we remember that character. And the Ya, Shanya Arabayam. 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 Don't forget the connectors, of course. I'm writing in the ancient Hebrew. Shanya Arabayam, which is 42. And the Assyrian looks like this. All right, so again, can't stress it enough. Read the Assyrian during the Sabbath service, right? Which everybody should be either coming physically to class, or if they can't make it to class, tuning in virtually. It's the Lord's holy day, Sabbath, all right? Shanya, all right, which is 2, Arabayam. Shanya Arabayam, which is 42. All right. So same concept for all the numbers, right? All right. I want to say 50. I was like 5 is Kamash. So if I want to say 50, I would say Kamash. I want to say 52, I will say Shanya Kamashia, 52. All All right, so same concept from the teens, the 20s, the 30s, 40s, the 50s. All right. Let's get 100. Leave. Remember off the dome. Look at my notes real fast and lock. All right, 100 is ma'at. That's 100, which we all need to keep. Up here in the UPK, we keep it 100. You understand? With all our people, with the whole entire planet Earth, we keep it 100, whether they like it or not. Ma'at. All right, 100. So how we spell it out in the ancient, ma, and a. That's 100. All right, ma and a. You see it, how we spell it out up here, ma, a. We need a Syrian, ma, a. All right. Now, I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna have to get back. I'm gonna have to ask, right? How to say 101. So I get how to say 200, right? My young, 300, right? Shalash Ma'at, right? Believe. Hold on. I'm gonna get that. Yeah, here it is, right? Salah. I got it. So I got it right here. In my notes. You always take notes. It's important to take notes, right? So I want to say 200, it's ma'ayam, right? Make it plural. Ma'ayam. Just like a 10 is Aishara, 20 is Asharayam. So 200 would be ma'ayam. And if I want to say 101, how would I say it? I would say akad ma'at. 1 and 100. 101. Akad ma'at. Everybody understand? Let's write it out real fast. I got time. I got some time. Now I got 1,000, which is a lot. But we gonna hold on 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. So 101 would be akad ma'at. Akad ma'at, which would be 101. So 1 and 100. Akad ma'at. 100 and 1. That's a lot. So 100 is ma'at and 1 is 100. All right. Akad ma'at. 101. All right. So let's get 1,000 real quick. So just like the teens, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, same concept. I want to say 102. I would say 2 and 100, which would be shanya ma'at. All right. If I want to say 200, I would say ma'ayam, multiple hundreds. Right. If I want to say 201, what would I say? Akad ma'ayam. All right. So 1 and 200. All right. So last word or last number. Matter of fact, your last number 1,000. All right. In fact, we don't just keep it 100. Keep it 1,000, which is a lot. Which is 1,000. All right, a lot. How we spell it looks like this. Lot. If we remember our character. The la, the pa, a lot. Syrian, La. And this is another character that changes at the end of the word. That's the Pa at the end of the word. Allah. Alright, which is a Qadash. Alright, so those are basic ABCs. Those are basic 1, 2, 3. Alright, so practice them, write them down over and over and over again. Alright. Sooner or later, practice makes perfect. You be speaking and reading and writing fluently in the Lashawan Qadash. So the water, which means thank you in the Hebrew. To everybody that tuned in, big up to y'all. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Isupk 704, all right? Gotta say shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yom Shabbat Why Yahweh Shemal Adam Hashem Yom Shah. What I just said was, in the name of the Most High in Christ, bless you all, the brothers, and may the Most High watch over you all in the name of Christ to all the sisters. With that, I say shalom.